To even suggest in this day and age that a section of the media should be banned or curtailed or gagged or even metaphorically guillotined would invite scorn, disgust, and even censure. After all, freedom of thought and expression is a valuable right which needs to be protected and treasured and not trifled with. And yet, maybe a time has come, as the time came for content that showed pedophilia and repulsive pornography, a time to ban media that divides people in the name of religion and promotes hatred and ill will in society. Such a demand is not being made in haste. There is ample evidence available that hate-filled programs on so-called mainstream television news channels and social media have been promoting communal hatred, some more subtly than others, but nevertheless creating fissures and dissatisfaction in society. To correlate the current wave of communal unrest and stone throwing and violence in the country directly with telecast of hate-filled content on television screens as action and reaction of one that follows the other would not be an exaggeration. The problem has assumed such terrible proportions that many right-thinking people, both in the government and in civil society, are asking the question, what can be done about it? In this episode, we will tell you without taking names what kind of channels are promoting communal unrest. The results may surprise you. We will also debate whether there is a precedence of controlling or even banning such content in the free world. The results there also will surprise you. But before I do that, a warm welcome to all viewers of the CAA show. All viewers would mean Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Parsis, Christians and Jains, and all people of different religions, castes, and ethnicities. I labor on this point deliberately because we need communal peace in the country. Bringing you the CAA show is yours truly, Juggi Bhasin. To join our show on a continuous basis, press the big red subscriber button on your screen, and subscription is of course completely free. Now first let us understand what is hate-filled programming. I can show a crowd throwing stones in either a long shot or in a close-up on television. A close-up, say, of a Muslim youth throwing stones in a skull cap repeated 1,000,000 times during the course of the day will convey the impression that each and every Muslim youngster is on the streets throwing stones, creating anarchy. Whereas the truth would be that only the history sheeters of the area and those who are paid or provoked to create disturbances would be out on the streets. Now see the picture from the other side. A left liberal channel would repeat an interview with, say, a Nasiruddin Shah 1,000,000 times a day, where the man makes an outrageous statement that no Muslim has ever denigrated Hindu gods. We all know the truth in such matters. Will not the provocation of such a lie and inflammatory statement that implies that only Hindus disrespect someone else's religion, but all Muslims are innocent, will not such a statement create ill will in society? Then take the case of the Dharam Sansad and the manner left liberal media built it up to create a Frankenstein. Fact of the matter is that the Dharam Sansad was and is a body of obscure raving lot who no one cares about or who no one particularly knows about. But in the hands of the left liberal media, it became as if every member of the BJP and the RSS had a stake in it. And at the hands of the left liberal media, the subtle denigration of Hinduism was in full swing via the Dharam Sansad. The close-up of Muslims rioting on the streets and the interview of irresponsible mad hatters like Shah are then equally irresponsible and dangerous. They have the potential to further divide and create ill will and anarchy in society. This is what is called as hate-filled programming. People generally think that communal programming and content on television is only the reserve of the saffron lot and right-wing forces. Nothing could be more absurd. There is a particular left liberal English language channel on television which subtly promotes communal unrest in the country by telecasting interviews with communal-minded personalities like Shah, where in the name of criticizing the BJP government, they end up casting aspersions on the majority community and its religious practices and beliefs. We have reached a stage today when bulldozer justice, which is in one way correct administrative justice or action, it has become a reality show, a live telecast reality show on national television. The objection is not on bulldozers razing the properties of criminals and stone throwers and vandals to the ground. The objection is to present the images coming out from the action to finger point at an entire community and bring correct administrative action into disrepute. The left liberal side live for such telecasts because armed with this kind of footage, they play the breast-beating victim card to the Islamic and the Western world. This is what the game is all about. And in the process of all this, the divide between the two communities deepens further. We forget in this entire sorry tale that such content and footages are aired by channels which are corporates at the end of the day who seek to make a profit. Instead of making a profit the right way, which is obviously the hard and the tough way, they take the shorter, sinister route of playing the communal card and pitting community against community. The Nupur Sharma fiasco resulted from one such free-for-all debate. Has not the time therefore come, therefore, to curtail such content and maybe even ban it? And that brings me to the second major point of this episode. In an advanced old democracy like Britain, there is a media regulator called Ofcom, which very carefully monitors all hateful coverage on television screens. Ofcom has real powers where it can, and it has done in the past. It can ban hate content and even impose hefty fines on the errant content provider or channel. The rulings of Ofcom cannot be ignored by content providers in Britain. In India, we have a toothless body called the Press Council of India, which is generally manned by retirees with no powers. Has not the time therefore come to have a strong regulator like Ofcom that nips the evil in the bud before it can flower? Maybe the current dashing information and broadcasting minister Anurag Thakur can take a lead in this matter. I will end this episode by narrating a personal story which has a bearing on this issue. Long back, when I was a young television reporter with DD News, I was present on 6 December 1992 at the site where the Babri Masjid was brought down by car servants. We were the first team there in the world to have captured the history-changing event in our cameras. But on the night of the same day, my director of news, Harish Awasthi, called me up in Ayodhya to tell me that upon the advice of the cabinet secretary, my coverage was being canned and it would not be shown to let charged feelings subside and prevent further bloodshed. As a reporter, I was crushed that my world exclusive was not being shown, but the rational side of me understood it was the right decision to calm things down in the country. Today, all such restraint is gone, and we are paying the price for it. Is it not time for new beginnings and a new tough initiative on this matter? And so on this note, I come to the end of this episode of the CAA show. I hope you really enjoyed this particular episode. If you like our show, do subscribe to us. And on this note, it's goodbye and cheers from my end.